Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. I hope that you had a fantastic Monday. My Monday workday was very busy. I'm so relieved that it's over. And now that my workday is over, I can focus on one of the biggest stories of the day, which is former model and ex-wife to Russell Simmons, Kimora Simmons, and her daughter speaking out about the way Russell Simmons speaks to them, his communication methods, and just their overall relationship. It gets really deep. So I'm going to go into these screenshots that Aoki posted on her IG stories in terms of when she and her dad sometimes have text message, some of her thoughts on his health, but I also want to share a couple of their IG lives. But first, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. It will cause YouTube to recommend this video to more people who have similar interests, who love celebrity news and gossip. As you know, I also do reality TV star interviews and TV show recaps like The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Bell Collective, and of course, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. And with that being said, I am going to share my screen and mute my mic so that we can listen to Kimora Lee Simmons tell her stories.
24, also a whole ass adult, Ming, just graduated from NYU. It was very, very tough. I know you moms know this, and dads, and you, all the family members. It's not like one graduation, it's like 10. It's a different group. It's a different this, it's a different that. I went to New York for NYU. Congratulations to all the NYU graduates. I saw so many of my friends, I haven't seen in forever that have like kids my age, my kids' age, and they're my age. So I saw so many people. I saw models from back in the day. That one girl, Anna Gitana, came from Ethiopia. I mean, I saw people from all over. So shout out to everybody in New York. I did the same in Boston with Aoki at Harvard. My mom was there. She's an immigrant. She's Korean Japanese. We were just super emotionally taken over by, all of this and the accomplishments of all of our kids. And I say all of our kids because I talk to so many parents here, and a lot of people, everybody probably watching here knows me. So we've been through this together with my kids, with your kids, with everybody's kids. So some people who were noticeably absent was their dad. And Mr. Simmons. And so I noticed then, as soon as we started posting our graduation pictures and all these things, he starts to post on his Instagram. People send it to me because he's blocked by all my children and myself. He's blocked. We don't engage with him. We don't talk to him. We haven't spoken to him in many months, many months, probably going on years. But I noticed that he started to cryptically post children of divorced parents are oftentimes brainwashed. And I thought, wow, and people really, probably start to believe that in the world, social media, I don't know. People take sides. We all know that. People don't know what they see. You can show them something like this and they're like, I don't know if that was a hand. I don't know what that was. We're not sure, right? You don't know what you see or what you don't see. But I noticed that I got a lot of comments from that. Again, these are all comments and reports because he's blocked. And that's been that way for a while. Also funny to note that he has been blocked for quite a very long time, but yet continues to post messages like, we're friends, we're comrades, we're there. He posts all old pictures of my kids. Basically, in my opinion, my humble opinion, he's, I don't know, delusional and living some kind of a lie, to put it mildly, in my opinion. So I thought, wow, folks are really going to tell the public, that grown-ass kids are brainwashed. Now, we know that can be, right? I can help you with a lot of that. They could have, I don't know what, Stockholm syndrome, a lot of stuff, but that's not the case with these kids. And again, most of you here know my kids. You see my kids. They grew up with you in the community. Even friends of mine and my exes, their dad, all of the family, friends, and relatives and everybody has stayed, cordial and friendly. You all know my kids. You all know. And I'm, by the way, like I said before, in case you didn't catch that, I'm the single mom of 5 kids. One of who I adopted, Gary, my handsome football player that you just saw. That was a personal adoption, meaning we know the family. And Gary's dad actually works for Russell too, and is probably underpaid and can't afford his life too much. And so I stepped in there to help adopt and raise that child, for those of you that did not know. So you guys know my kids. My kids have worked at the UN. My kids are ambassadors of the world. My kids speak multiple languages. Like I said, my youngest daughter is the youngest kid to graduate in recent history from an Ivy League school. I'm a little upset, so I know I'm probably rambling and leaving out parts and jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. Y'all can hang up. I love you. I know everybody's going to be calling me later. But you all know that for sure that my kids are not brainwashed. So I thought that was crazy that people actually started to believe that, because I could see the messages and the comments and, oh, sorry. And sometimes people just want to have something to say, and I understand that too. So today, the whole topic, and I thought about people, all my friends in the industry, and who I could call and what media people I could talk to about this, and who do I go to talk about this? And I thought about this all the time, but I never really have, the right person, and it's never really come to me. So I just thought I'd turn on my thing here and say this. But for someone to imply that my kids are brainwashed because they honored the job or the duty that their mom fulfills on a daily basis, 365 days of the year, 24/7, is crazy. No one's brainwashed. You guys can go and see, no one's delusional. Hold on one second. Wolfie? Yeah. I love you. What are you doing? Are you trying to play in here with mom? Okay, but can I just do this little quick interview and then you can come right back? Can I? Okay. Only because I don't want Okay, I love you. Okay, I love that. Come back, okay? So let me just read my comments. Look at my crazy big movie screen, you guys. That's actually a movie screen. It's huge. It's like the biggest one of the biggest ones I could find. And it has a direct throw projector. So that projector shoots right up to that screen. It's super close. Anyway, we're not going to get into all of our tech gadgets, but what was I saying? So you all know that my kids are not brainwashed. Those of you that know me here also know what kind of parent I am. I have been a parent pretty much all my life. I was a very young, probably too young bride. So I had these kids very early. And you guys know how much my family means to me, and you know how much my kids mean to me. And you guys know, all of you that know me absolutely know what kind of mother I am and what kind of family dynamic I have over here. I think it's very important for you all to know. If you look back in our history, I have always been the type of co-parent. We were actually very famous for our co-parenting abilities and, how we always put the good face forward and the good foot forward to the world. So you guys know that. If you pay attention to the time frame of things, you will see that some years ago, recently, this ex in question brought a lawsuit against me and my family, a completely frivolous lawsuit, where he accused me of all kinds of crazy stuff, like embezzling, laundering, defrauding, all these things. again, everybody that knows me knows that nothing could be like further from the truth. Clearly, I'm sitting right here in my home, right? There's no, none of that. I didn't flee the country. I don't run. I don't have to hide from anybody. I didn't commit any atrocities that I need to answer for, here or in the next life at the gates, wherever I'm going to get. I don't have to do that like some other people. So if you pay attention to, excuse me, I'm a little emotional, but I get like that. So do my kids. So sorry about that. But if you pay attention to when this lawsuit was launched, it's probably like a couple years ago, you'll notice that that's when all of these attacks started coming from my ex. You'll notice that that's when a lot of a barrage of crap started coming over here to us. Um, you'll notice that the kids stopped kind of over the past years, they stopped kind of seeing their dad as much. And also, again, I have 5 kids, so I've always been like, an open book. All my other kids let me turn to the light, Russell to be, considered him to be at one point in time like an uncle. We were all very close. And that goes for all my baby dads, by the way. There's evidence of that. You can see them, on various far and few between events, but you can see them sometimes like on the red carpet, and you'll see one person with all the kids, right? We get along like a family, like friends, like whatever. So you'll notice that all of this down talking and all of this stuff started to take a turn around these past couple of years, I think coinciding with that lawsuit. But I just want to come and say, and I never get into this. I usually let people go and rant and rave. It's funny though how this particular person in question, because I could go in on a few of them one by one. But it's funny how this particular person, if you again go look back, you'll see on their page that they post all these pictures like we're together, like we're friends. They've even posted pictures and then said like, I just got off the phone with my kids. They sent me this great picture. None of that's true. I like receipts. So of course I have text messages. I have messages from all my kids. You can go and see. I think the bottom line, like probably the breaking point for all of this was over the past many months when their dad just sort of cut them off. He was contributing a little bit of cash to their like monthly, college spending, not much, a couple $100 probably, maybe $500. Maybe a little more. Again, all these things can be, proven with receipts. I love receipts, so folks can always go and get receipts and show over the years. And so one day he just kind of cut the kids off. There was no more money coming in, no more like allowance, quote unquote allowance. I think he probably did that just to double up the expenses on me, which is no problem. I stepped up, I did it. But when he did this, it was around just before finals and graduation. It was some months ago, just before finals and graduation. And he did it without telling the kids or talking to the kids or anything. He did it, it's funny, after he did an interview with, I heard some clips from an interview with this young man. I don't know, but I see him a lot. I think his name is Academic or DJ Academic. Oh, happy Juneteenth, you guys. We're doing all this on Juneteenth. Come on, let it go. Let it out. So I saw in that clip, that was some months ago too. You can go and reference it and find it, where he told this guy, he was on and on about this guy. And I think it was about old school hip hop heads and how you should honor them, which I believe you should. But he was saying to the guy, like, I'm so rich. I got this and I got that. And I'm this and that. None of that could be further from the truth. He has turned around. And then again, I have records and evidence of this where he's told the kids in writing, we have it, text messages, I'm broke, I this, I that, I can't, go get it from your mom. Now, meanwhile, I have been financially carrying this person probably for the last at least 10 years, myself and my ex-husband. Again, this is all proven with receipts. So if whatever, somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, we could talk about it. We can come, we can open up our receipts. I love it. I love receipts. But I've taken care of this person to the tune of many, many, many millions of dollars to help with their bills, their overhead, their companies that they run into the ground, their unsuccessful bids, all of their stuff. I don't necessarily speak for my kids, but I think I could take probably a good shot at it. They're sleeping right now because it's not even 8:30 in the morning. But my two oldest girls, they're young women. They're young women of the world. I think that was very tough for them, that their dad like kind of cut them off and cut off conversation and cut off helping them. And he's even said things to them like, why did you go to college? You shouldn't have gone to college. You wasted that money. You could have saved it, while I'm up here trying to hustle the kids over the finish line. That was crazy. It's just been so many things that kind of negate what I'm trying to do over here in my house. Again, like, I live in Beverly Hills, California. I go between New York and LA. People know how to find me. They know how to see me. I see people walking up and down the street all day, every day. I'm just not going to tolerate this from someone who's not on the streets walking around every day. They are, like, I don't know, apparently like hiding under a rock someplace far away in another country. Again, these girls are adults. They are young adults. I typically try to be very friendly and amicable with all my baby daddies, whatever. But I think it comes a time when you guys have to ask yourself, why are these women, young women, not supportive, or not really trying to hear that? Or what have they gone through? What have they seen that they, that has turned them off, or that has put a bad taste in their mouth? We've seen a lot lately over the years. And I have literally stood by these people and this man all my life. And I just get so emotional when someone tries to attack my parenting or my family or my kids that have tried so hard. You can see all the press that we've done, all the interviews that we've done. I mean, it's a community thing. These kids graduating from college, high school too. And all my friends, I say the same thing. It's every person knows here that has had graduates. I graduated from college only just recently in the past like 5 years. It's tough. They're teenagers developing into young adults now. They have lived their whole life in the public eye, which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing, because it's good because my kids, my family, and so I hope that the public can kind of decipher some of these things and some of this, bullshit. But it's also bad because you grow up and, again, your stuff is in the public eye. You don't get to handle things that privately and discreetly, like other people may have a chance that are not in the public eye. So I'm very touched and emotional. I become very emotional. People always say, Kimora, you're such a boss. You're such a leader, but you're so emotional. I am emotional. I will, like, snap in a heartbeat when it comes to my kids. I think everybody knows that. And so the fact that you would come at this point and try to attack my kids or my family is crazy. I'm very, very proud of my kids. I love them very much. And I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm tired of it. I literally woke up to this. I haven't had a chance to get on the phone and call people and get the whole thing going and call publicists, call friends and do all that. I've gotten, enough. I just came on here and did it like this. I'm sorry. I'm in my living room. Those are all my crazy clothes. I'm renovating my closet, and so my clothes are here behind me, and so it looks like I'm in a warehouse, but I'm really in my living room. So I think if you look at just some of the facts, this person was not present at graduation. Again, there was not one graduation. There were several graduation events, both for NYU and Harvard. You can look these things up. There's a schedule. They're public events. Anybody can come or get tickets or show up or be there. They're usually in auditoriums. NYU was at Yankee Stadium. One of the graduations, the other ones were at smaller venues and locations. One of ours was at the Beacon Theater. They're all over. The same for Harvard and Boston. There's many different groups that graduate. So Yoki's like a classics major. It might be the classics group or the division of arts and science, or the law group, the this group, that group. Everybody has a graduation in addition to the school as a whole, right? So my point of saying all this is that hi, Renbex. Hi, you guys. The point of saying all this is that if you look, this person has not been to any events, did not come to graduation, no, he wasn't particularly wanted, but no one stopped you, hasn't sent a flower or a gift or a kind word, cut the kids off when they were traveling around. Yoki was on a trip to Greece with the classics department. She didn't know that her little debit card or whatever wasn't working. That was a whole mess. And it's a lot. Again, you parents will know when you have kids that are in the middle of finals and studies and stuff like that, and stuff comes up and their things aren't going through and they're, whatever. It's been a stressful past months getting through college, and it's been a stressful past just couple of years dealing with this just dealing with this craziness. Hold on, I'm just trying to see what you guys are saying and I can't. So I just want to say I usually stay here and I try to be very supportive of my family. I try to be very supportive all the time of even my baby daddies. I've sat quietly through things, and just because I'm a mom, I've tried to look the other way for things and turn the other cheek. And I don't know, I sometimes feel like some of those things come back to haunt you over time, and stuff like that. So, I'm not really sure, but I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. Again, like I'm sitting here with my kids in my house. Easy to find me, not running, not hiding, not doing any of that. And so to have these constant attacks is just kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. And I know you're probably looking at me now, fool, watching this, I'm sure. Like, I'm not your friend. We're not friends. Like, the stuff that you've done to our family is just too much. Like, please just go in peace. Go and serve the Lord, whatever Lord you serve. That's funny because on the one hand, you have all this yogi preaching, this yogi karmic love. I feel like that's an act. And then the real side, the real things come out, and you're like super, vindictive and mean and lying. Again, you can go back right now. You want to see a couple of lies, you can go on their page. You can look at all their pictures that they say things like, we were just together, we just talked. They post pictures of my kids from years ago, making you think that they're right there, right down the street, right now, going through all this stuff. You can look, you can gauge the date, you can see the comments, you can see they're blocked. We don't talk to them. These are all lies. You tell the one guy doing this interview, you're so rich, you're this and that. But yet in reality, I think you're probably pretty broke. And again, all of this stuff is like, my picture frame broke. All of this stuff is like, okay, it broke again. All of this stuff is like, documented, and you guys can just see where we're coming from, where I'm coming from. I'm a good person. I'm very transparent in the fact that, in the sense that, again, people know me. You guys know me. Some of you have never met me. You've grown up with me. You've seen my shows. You see my work. You wear my clothes. Others of you know me very well. You know me personally. You know my kids. You know my exes. You know the dads. A lot of people here know both of us, and they know he's wrong. All the friends have said, this is wrong. This is crazy. We don't understand it. But they still support him. I feel like it's one of those things where he's just like a bigger than life kind of, powerhouse. And so he just kind of turns and manipulates the press and people, and to believe, anything. Like, like gaslighting, like that didn't happen. I didn't do that to you. Uh, I didn't do those things to you. I didn't, you're imagining things. How many countless women have said this, have been told this, I should say, or would say this to you? Myself and my two girls who are adults included, you guys didn't just start to see my kids. We didn't just go through a divorce. We went through this divorce, I don't know, 20 years ago, 20 some odd years ago. So this is not a situation, again, you can get receipts, you can go see where they say like, oh, kids been brainwashed, but we've been fine up until these past several years. So, what happened? All of a sudden now the kids are brainwashed. All of a sudden now these young women who are grown women are babies. They have their own relationship with you. You have your own not existent relationship with them. I'm just asking that you please leave us alone. I've tried to go to lawyers and get help. I've tried to show all the crazy texts I've had to block. Like, you do crazy shit, like send flowers to yourself and take a picture and post it on the gram and tell everybody I sent you flowers. Again, I have receipts of all of this. I have receipts from your office saying that you sent flowers to yourself without my permission. I have all of this. You guys have never seen it because it just doesn't warrant, it doesn't rise to that occasion. I mind my own business. But please don't attack my children. They've been through so much. Don't attack my family, which is supposed to be your family too. Don't do that because you're at rock bottom. I don't know. Hypothetically, you're at rock bottom. You've hit the bottom. I don't know. You're grasping at straws. I don't know if this is a money grab. I don't really know what this is. I think it's probably all of the above. I have to say, I think, and allegedly, and all these things, just so I can be, right in saying like my feelings and how I feel, what I think. But I met this person when I was in high school in St. Louis, Missouri. I was modeling. I was 16 years old. Like, I've known you, and everybody knows. Again, that's documented. You can see. I believe I was maybe a sophomore. I know it was before junior prom and senior prom because I went to both of those proms alone with my friends when I was dating them. So it was definitely long before junior and senior prom. I think it was around sophomore year of high school. And again, everybody knows this in my life. They know I was walking around, they see me. The point of it is I've known you a long time and I've seen lots of stuff and I just choose to not go there. Lots of things that I could say over the time. I'm typically the one that he and others would call to have their back, right? I'm the one that they would call to solidify everything, to validate everything. If you always look, whenever they get into trouble, they always want to hop up on the live and do a half screen with me. Again, this was years ago because we don't speak now. But, I'm always the one that kind of puts out the fire. I'm also the one that always runs to the defense of all my friends. So if you see any other women, certainly women that I've come up with, certainly women that are mothers of my other of my kids that I love, I come to their defense. So if they're down and out or something's wrong, yeah, you're always going to see Kimora, big mouth me, running up to the gate, running up to help. And you know why? It's because I feel like I'm the one that can't be bowled over. Some of these other people can be bowled over. A lot of my women, friends and other moms, they've gone through things. I've lost friends of mine. People have passed on. I've been through a lot. And I've seen where women a lot of times just don't get their just due. They don't get support. They don't have anything to show for their life and their contributions because they depended on a man. I am not that. I'm one of the few. I'm one of the few. And there's a handful. You can count us in your hands. I'm one of the few that doesn't have to do that. I'm one of the few that has my own stuff. And because of that, um, I feel like I'm the one that can speak up. I'm the one. I don't. My stuff does not depend on. My paycheck doesn't depend on these buffoons. Whereas some of my other friends, they maybe they do. Their life does depend on that, so they can't always speak up. So that's another just side note as to why you see me running. Anytime there's an issue, I'm gonna run because I'm the one that you can't knock down. I'm the one that you're not just gonna like ignore and step over me. Um, and so that's just a little side note as to why you will always see me fighting or taking up women's causes. You guys know that I work with Skid Row. I work with unhoused homeless children, women and children, infants. You know this. This is my life's work. I have, adopted my third son. I mean, I'm a global citizen of the world. I'm a woman of the world. I'm a business, woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just tired of it. Please leave us alone. Like, stop with all these lies. And I see a lot of comments, and thank you guys. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm saying, please, like, leave us alone. We tried to help you. We somewhere there's love for you. Please try to raise above and just leave us alone. Like, I have done everything I could to raise my kids. I've done everything I could, oftentimes alone. I've been like scammed up one side of the street and down the next, and I'm still standing. I'm still okay. That's not, those things the same cannot be said for other people. I'm from St. Louis. I see people on here from St. Louis. And they're saying, like, we're strong and we're not going to take that. Yeah.
Okay, y'all. So I'm going to stop the IG live right there, and then I want to go ahead and get into her daughter Aoki Lee's Instagram stories. So I have the screenshots here. I am going to go ahead and read from her page directly, just so that I can see it a little bit better. Or I have like my slideshow where I can see. Okay, so in the green is Aoki talking to her dad. I'm out here praying for you and hoping everything goes well. And you call my mother a piece of ish. Russell Simmons says to his daughter, neutral, I don't even appear in your media, and your mother has stolen my money and the love of my kids as she promised. She is actually. And then Aoki, she kind of blocked some of it, but I'll never speak to you. I'll never speak to you until you die. Don't ever say that again. She did not steal it, meaning his money. You lost it, she says. And then Russell says, she is a piece of ish. And then it says, Aoki is saying, you lost it. So then I'm going to go to the next screenshot for you all. And it is a lot, but Aoki says, I stopped talking to you because you were giving me panic attacks to the point I was placed on emergency medication every time we spoke. I cannot have a relationship with you until that stops. No one stops me from talking to you. My health does. I have to put that first. Every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I can't even respond to because I am not involved. I am your child, not your lawyer, your ex-wife, any of it. I can do nothing, yet you yell at me like it's my fault. You were putting so much anger and rage on me every phone call, cursing, screaming, and God knows what else. I'm sorry, but I cannot be the target of that. It's not fair. It's gotten to the point I could not hear your voice without having an anxiety attack. You have to at least respect that I'm putting my health and well being first. Good for you, Aoki. Clearly, Russell Simmons has misguided anger, and he's probably taking his frustration of his current status in life out on his kids. So, we all know that Russell Simmons founded the record label Def Jam. Def Jam has been the home to legend rapper LL Cool J. And also, Def Jam was the distributor of Rockefeller Records, which was founded by Jay Z and Damon Dash. So, Def Jam is huge, and it is a huge staple within the history of hip hop. Also, Russell Simmons, he had a reputation. I remember watching like a profile of him, and he bragged about, meeting women, and he would get some that same night of meeting a woman. That was something that he bragged about. He loved being able to say that he dated models. I remember him saying, models know how to sit, they know how to talk. And so he actually had to wait, allegedly, to date Kimora Simmons. She was a teenager when he met her. And, he's saying that he did wait until she turned 18 to date her. And so to this day, I haven't heard Kimora Simmons say anything contrary to that. He totally publicly states that he did the right thing and waited until she turned 18. I also remember seeing a scene, I believe it was in that same profile, where the interviewer talked with Tyra Banks, and she was saying, yeah, like, I met Kimora when she first started modeling. She was a teenager, and I had to say to Russell, she's just a baby. She's not even 18 yet, almost like she was protective of her. But I say all this to say, as we all know, Russell Simmons was one of those who was exposed thanks to the Me Too movement. I'm so thankful for the Me Too movement because it put, sexual harassment, stalking, disrespect on blast. It doesn't really stop all men from doing it, but it's definitely has been a huge, just power force for women speaking up against it. So Russell Simmons was totally in that situation, and he's just not quite as popular ever since. Even Aoki says, she struggles to get modeling jobs because Russell Simmons is her dad. And that sucks for her, but literally we are seeing Russell Simmons' daughters get the brunt of what he did. Like, if you've ever heard like sin spreads out, it affects other people. Definitely that is realistic here, and it applies here, I should say. So let's get back to her text messages to him. Like, you gave me a panic attack. Don't make me regret introducing him to you. I think she's talking about her boyfriend. And I think Russell Simmons is saying that her boyfriend is literally broke. And Aoki says, I'm going to block you. I don't want to talk about it. Certainly don't text my boyfriend because I respectfully took some space. I try not to block you because what if it's an emergency and you are my dad? So then she comments, like when you post something on your IG stories and you add text to it, she says, if I block him, speaking about Russell Simmons, or some space, he'd harass my boyfriend, my friends, literally college students, children. So allegedly, she is actually saying that her dad, even if she tries to block him, he's relentless and he'll just bother her friends and boyfriend to find out her whereabouts, I guess. Very controlling. Then she says, I have done everything I could since I was 15. I have tried my hardest to not have drama, to be quiet and calm for the sake of the family that I love. But I don't know what a person can do at this point. Maybe if I was older, I know. And then there's more. So I do want to read this message to you all. Okay. Some of us think that he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia because he really acts like he hates and does not know his children frequently. Prior to his media, that's so small for me. I'm sorry, you guys. He swears he's okay. I'm not even going to bother to read that second paragraph. I wanted to give thoughts on the first one. So I had to look up his age. Russell Simmons is 65 years old. And she is saying that allegedly they all think that he could be suffering from dementia, which is like really sad. But I wanted to just give you the thoughts that, like, if that's the case, that could explain, because she said he acts like he doesn't know his children. So if that is the case, that is really sad. He would have to agree to like go see a neurologist and find out what's going on. Allegedly Bruce Willis, the actor, is struggling with that. And that's like that age. I'm a late baby. My parents had me in their 40s. And when my mom was like 64, that was the beginning of her showing signs of dementia. And she died right before turning 70. So it was still early onset. But I don't know. And I do want to touch on Kimora's live, which was really wild. So she said, of course, she said, I got three baby daddies. And she has Aoki and Mingli with Russell Simmons. She has her son Kinsey with the actor who was in Amistad. And I have a feeling like the actor from Amistad, he was probably the nicest, most decent man, but he probably didn't have the cash and the assets that she was really used to, allegedly and in my opinion. But she was married to a businessman, and I believe there was some controversy with him allegedly sending her fake emails, pretending to be from other people, I think trying to get information out of her. I remember reading that some years ago. Do y'all remember that? Well, in this live today, Kimora, or the live that I streamed today, she was saying that, she's been sued for crazy stuff like for fraud and money laundering. And she said that ever since Russell allegedly heard about the lawsuit, he's just been sending her crazy text messages. He communicates with them screaming and yelling. And I do want to show Aoki Lee's Instagram stories because she does show her dad flipping out. So I do want to go there. Just give me 1 second. Because as you all know, I'm sure you've seen it by now, where it's just the video to give you the visual, but no audio. But in moments like that, what you do see, the visual, is that more impactful because you cannot hear Russell Simmons' words. I'm sure he's cursing. I'm sure he's just yelling and complaining about the mama. So let's go ahead and get right on in. So I'm just going to go through her IG stories. This is where I got the text messages from. And here we go. Look at that. So he's yelling. I'm sure he can't hear her. This is like on FaceTime. He has a negative facial expression, so I know his tone is negative. I'm sure he's trying to be intimidating to his kids. I can relate to all that. So it's really sad. I feel like women, some men just think that we just always have to be subjected to disrespect and the violation of boundaries. And then it's like the men that they'll want to do it to their current wives, their ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, current girlfriends, and female children. Women go through so much. That's why it's so key to have the self-confidence not rooted in your looks alone or even your material possessions like a house, a vehicle. So what about the house and the vehicle? But just love yourself as is. Physical flaws, whatever. And you know that you can walk away. Aoki Lee, she has a good head on her shoulders because she knows to block out anyone who's being disrespectful. Unfortunately, her dad is coming after her friends and her boyfriend to worry them to death, which really comes off crazy, allegedly. And I'm just basing it off of what his daughter said. But let me know in the comments what y'all thought about this. I wanted to give you all some meat with Kimora's live. I do have, Aoki's Instagram live. We could access it. I know that she's very upset. She's crying. So I didn't really want to go there. But I'll play a few minutes of it and then, close out.
I did also want to come on here and say that a lot, like, I can't, between a lot of people who are close to him and who have experienced how he has, I mean, just lashed out at anyone he can and completely changed the person that he is. A lot of us feel like maybe something's wrong, like mentally. I don't know. He's older. I, I don't know, but he has completely changed. I will come on here and talk about whatever I want because it's my life and I'm the one suffering. So he has completely changed. The couple texts I just had, those are only the beginning. I'm gonna go through them if he's gonna. I don't want to post a ton, but if he tries to say that like it's not happening, I will. I have screen recordings. I have voice memos of things that you. It doesn't sound like a human being. He's like shrieking and yelling, and I mean he sounds like possessed. So I will say, I'm not even sure if it's like to his credit, but the best explanation I have is something mental going on, because I used to be very close to my dad. He used to be a good co-parent, close with my mom, my stepdad. He was his godfather to my little brothers. We all went on vacation together every year, like very close. Well after the divorce, everyone was really happy. When he had business ventures, my mom would invest in them. Like good friends, he'd come stay with us. Like we'd come stay there. We like all the time, everyone together. And then really he suddenly just decided that like if we don't agree, it's oh you're all bitches like your mother, I hate you, all these fucking bitches are the same. Oh my, I mean he's just a different person. Like he has like looked me in the eye and I've been like I need help. I was in Greece doing the camp and I was like you cut off my debit card. I only got like couple $100 a month as a minor, and I was like I'm in a foreign country and my debit card won't work. I can't even add money to it. Can you help me? And he was just like no, I sure hope that you don't die on the streets of Thessaloniki. And I was like, no, like I'm really stranded out here. I need help. And he's like, well, maybe you should ask your mother not to sue me. And I'm like, you're suing her. And he's like, well, maybe when you bitches decide you're gonna like be reasonable, I'll help you. And I'm like, this is unsafe. It's nighttime. I like what you cut me off out of nowhere, and he did it like on purpose. He was like, "Oh, enjoy camp. I put some, like you're good to go. I put money in your car." And then he cut it off when I landed, so I'd be stranded. My mom helped me. It was fun. Worst things have happened. I'm just saying he'll like look me in the eye and be like, "Well, maybe when you bitches decide to," like threatening me. So I felt that was important to include because if we do continue to get into it, and some of the things that I post are going to look crazy, and I agree, they're crazy. And it would honestly make me feel better if something was severely wrong because this is just not the father that I know or the father that I've had. You know, like to this day, I would never let a man talk any kind of way to me because my dad was always good to me. And then he just completely changed. So I just want to include that it could be that, and I don't know his mental situation, but like he used to do kind of crazy stuff, and then say he had COVID, so we'd all call him, or if we'd say, hey, I need some space because all you do is tell me how awful I am and how I have my mom's awful, shitty, bitch ass cunt genetics. So hey, like I'm in school, and can you not harass me when I'm in school? He wasn't paying for school, by the way. Can you not harass me? And then
Okay, y'all. So that was Aoki. That was her live. So that reminds me of something that I wanted to talk about because Kimora did touch on this in her IG live as well about Russell cutting off the kids' debit cards. Now, I get it because this also happens in the Black community too, where like some parents will say, you 18 now, so you got to get out and just figure it out on your own. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old has literally been a student from preschool age 4 to 18. They've just been a student for 14 years. They've never paid bills. They may have had a job, but like they don't know about paying bills on time, maintaining good credit, or anything. You're still taking care of them. But some Black people, if they had to struggle they do not want to deliver their kids from that same struggle. They don't want to actually make it easier for them to be successful because of the bitterness of what they had to go through. So then they let the kids struggle. I disagree with that. And I feel like you should give, even a kid who's not going to go to college or not going to the military, you should give them at least 2 years to be able to save up to get a car that's reliable, and hopefully they can just buy it outright because they're living with you and not have a car note, and then let them save up some money to be able to get an apartment and get all the things that they would need for it. At least give them 2 years out of high school to work and save their money. You can be involved in the saving of their money, making sure that they're tucking away money with each paycheck, or if they are in college like Aoki, you should not be cutting off debit cards. She's like graduating from Harvard this year. I think she's been a responsible young adult, Russell. I feel like if a child is in college, then that waiting period for them to be full-fledged independent, you have to extend that. You have to extend that grace period because they're still a student. Like how they've been a student since age 4. If you go to college, you're still going to be a student for at least another 4 to 5 years. Then once they get a job, a professional job that includes health benefits and a 401k, then go ahead and, you're on your own now. You can insure your own vehicle. You can pay rent or, save to buy a house, but I just feel like you should not allow your kids to just start off struggling, because then they're just going to be struggling forever trying to catch up. So those are my thoughts. So I totally disagree with Russell just cutting off her debit cards. Again, I think it's misguided anger. I think that even him suing the ex-wife Kimora, it's misguided anger. He really should be mad at himself. And I'm even pointing at myself. He needs to point at the man in the mirror. That's who he's really angry with. He's angry that the Me Too movement got him, but that's not even the movement that got him. You got yourself, Russell, because you just have to be the man. You have that toxic masculinity that is about sleeping with as many women as you can, allegedly, and in my opinion. But y'all let me know what you think in the thoughts. I love and adore y'all's comments. You all are so intelligent. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. Y'all take good care and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.